Welcome back to Wild Speculations. I'm Daniel.
I'm Scott.
Tonight we are talking about Critical Role Campaign 3, Episode 43, Axiom Shaken.
Yes.
Great name for the episode. Maybe a little early for its use. But got us a bunch of answers to a bunch of questions we've posed since a long time.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I still say this feels like it's going to be a shorter campaign than the others. I just feel like everything's trucking along too quickly.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I was going to say we were basically on the same pace as Campaign 2, but that's not a good argument against it's going to be a short campaign. But we begin where we left off, with Shithead.
Yep.
I am a little shocked at the damage that Shithead did.
Okay.
Especially because Matt is the kind of DM that will play around with things like that. And I was thinking it was going to be psychic damage. Because he's traumatized by this thing. But no, 1 poison damage. Halved to 1 because...
Yeah.
Took a sorcery point and 2 first-level spell slots. Well, I can't say it took. It's what they used.
I mean, that's what it took. Now, could it have taken less? Yes. But it's what it took.
Fair. We get some discussion about FCG thinking that it is his albatross.
Yes.
That it knows what he did even though he doesn't know. That kind of thing. Where the dialogue that we have, and interesting, the first time that Matt has let Speak with Animals work.
Yeah.
On something that is undead. Or not a beast, basically.
Yeah.
And it says, just because I don't like you. I don't like the way you look. So I'm interested to see where this goes if it continues.
Yeah. And of course, if Ladna has her way, she'll have a whole macabre menagerie going on.
Yes.
Shit, Pete.
Although, I have a feeling, well, I was going to say he could be someone's familiar, but very possibly not. Because he didn't poof into non-existence.
True. But he did have a voice very similar to Pate.
That's true.
I was like, okay, these things are cut from the same cloth per Matt.
Yeah. Ladna casting Hex on it and thinking she could track it. I'm like, nope. Oh, Matt's not going to call her out? Okay. And it took them quite a while before they realized, oh, that's Hunter's Mark, not Hex.
Yeah.
They're
virtually the same. Extra damage and an extra effect. It's just one is tracking and the other's disadvantage on a save.
Ability check.
Ability check.
Yeah. Is funny. Chetney offering to make a spiked crown for FCG was funny.
Yeah.
the anti-bird stuff that they put on buildings. Not usually on statues.
Should do it. When I was in Texas, in the downtown area, there's a big, like, outdoor walking type little.
San Antonio, right?
No, in College Station,
Okay.
where Texas A&M is. But every so often, they've got speakers that basically make a shotgun sound to scare off birds so that the birds don't go there. It's like, twice an hour, boom. Just implant one of those speakers in the back of his head. So every so often, boom.
There's a restaurant downtown here that has falcon cries. Same purpose.
Yeah.
It's just funny that it's shotguns there.
Well, I mean, it's a little more comforting for Texans.
Probably the funniest part of the episode that had nothing to do with the the content of the episode was Ashley's spit take, which led to Laura's banging her head, and then Sam cracking his teeth.
And Travis calling it all out. This all just happened back to...
The last 10 seconds has been 100% Keystone Cops over here. Yeah. Oh, and Ashton was missing.
Mm-hmm. Ditched out on the fight.
Yep.
Typical barbarian.
Yep. I was late getting a start on the episode, and I couldn't really watch it.
Gotcha.
So I could go and listen to it. So it took me quite a while to realize that Taliesin wasn't there. And I was like, where did he go? It's like, what happened? And then, of course, on my rewatch,
Yeah.
Matt at the top says he's not feeling well. So I was like, oh, okay. And I'm going to take care of a few things. I'm interested to see what Matt does with that.
Yeah. And he and Taliesin have something cooking.
Yes.
To explain.
100%.
Especially with it being Taliesin.
Yeah. And it could be just that he's tailing their guide. So, yeah. It will be interesting if Taliesin is back when they come back. And he comes in to save the day.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think he's at the table at the open, and then he appears mid-fight.
Yeah.
Because, spoilers, there will be a fight.
Yes. I think Matt has finally listened to his players, and he's going to give them some fights. I think we're going to have possibly a string of fights the next couple episodes. But we get our first look at the adjudicators, the judges.
The Spanish Inquisition. I mean, I thought more Warhammer Inquisition from the book, but
Yes.
I prefer to call them all the Spanish Inquisition. Just personal.
Fair. I also was getting some Warhammer vibes.
Yeah.
From it.
Very much just expected the hammer and the Book of the God Emperor.
Yeah, for sure.
I could see the painted mini already, and he was just describing it.
Oh, yeah. But also, So they have this judicator figure, this, introduced at this school for arcane, when our heroes provide the perfect example of why that thing is needed.
Yeah.
By mind controlling the nice old lady up front, tricking her into admitting her crimes, and then, bribing her and sending her on her way. I was just like, okay, yeah, this is why Vasselheim is the way Vasselheim is.
It's because of people like PCs. It's not the NPCs so much as the PCs.
There was some fun two invisible people trying to sneak into a place comedy. And the joke that if they animate this scene, it's just going to be a still image of the two of them talking. But Matt said something that confused me. Chetney, there's the joke about going down the chimney and Orm saying, "You were born for this." I was born for this. Bit. But Matt said, in your wolf form, you have advantage. And I was like, what? I couldn't think of a reason why he would. He has advantage on strength checks. But I don't think he said make a strength check to get down the...
He did give him a choice of acrobatics or athletics, and athletics is strength.
Oh. Which leads me to my next thing. I thought the wolf was medium-sized. How is it getting down the chimney?
Santa Claus does it.
Yes.
And we have the backstory.
But we know for certain that Chetney's not Santa Claus and has severe claws envy. Claws envy. Is that why he's a blood hunter?
Exactly. The wolf, from all intents and purposes, they always talk about him growing.
Yeah.
We had the point where Liam was like, "You were so tall." The miniature is medium rather than small. And even in the monster manual, when it talks about lycanthropy, the werewolf, whatever race they started as, in their hybrid form, is a medium creature.
Yeah.
So if you're small, you grow to medium as that.
Yeah.
You don't stay small. You're not like a chihuahua.
Which would be funny. The Home Alone sequence of Chetney setting up all the traps.
Yeah.
It was hilarious that Travis went there, but in my brain, I was actually thinking of Not. Because Not never checked for traps.
Yeah.
And always set them off, and always got hit by them.
True. I think it was the string with the kettle that initiated the Home Alone thing. And I could just see it, As Chetney, he's Joe Pesci, and in the wolf form, he's the other guy. He's taller, hairier.
So he's both the wet bandits at once?
Yes.
Although I have to say, Joe Pesci, not a bad casting choice.
For a live-action Chetney.
Yes. I think he could pull it off.
Yeah.
He's about the right age to portray a several hundred-year-old gnome.
Let's do it. My cousin Chetney.
So the other thing that was kind of getting me in the episode, and we've talked about it before, and it's basically a house rule for Matt, that he allows the players to use perception or investigation. for things.
Yeah.
But it just kind of gets me every now and then. Where I'm just like, perception is to see the thing. Investigation is to figure out how to open it.
Yeah.
For secret doors. And traps, perception to see it. Investigation to figure out how to disarm it. Or thieves' tools to disarm it. Yeah. Also, what I appreciated, though, is the effectiveness of the bar as a locking mechanism.
Yeah.
Unless you're Imogen. Because Imogen just could have looked through the window and moved the bar. But we can't do that. We can't let anyone else have a thing. It's got to be Chetney getting in. He's got to be the best.
He's the locksmith, Fern's the pickpocket.
Didn't take them long to find the secret door.
No. It almost felt like it was given to him, though. Because they pull the thing off and they don't notice it right away. And then he's like,
well, no,
touch the wall. Well, it's stone.
She noticed it. He made her roll. She got, I think, a 21.
Okay. I guess just the delivery of when he actually talked about the seam, it just felt like, well, okay, I'll just give it to him. They're close enough.
Yeah. No, it was...
You know what I mean, though?
I do. And that's also one of the reasons why I wanted to bring up perception versus investigation.
I wasn't watching the show. I was watching the show, but I was working on homebrew stuff at the same time.
Yeah. So we get this skull that makes you blind, and while you were blind, you were frightened.
Right.
This creates some problems with some of the wording in 5th edition. Because frightened says you suffer disadvantage when the source of your fear is within visual range.
Mm-hmm.
And that you cannot move closer to the source of your fear.
But if you're blinded, it's never in visual range, and you don't know where it is to not move closer.
Exactly.
I mean, I kind of hand-waved the first half of that, because when you're blinded, you pretty much just have disadvantage anyway.
Yeah.
Unless you've got some kind of blind sight.
Yeah.
But if you've got blind sight, then you can see the source. So I kind of hand-waved that first part, but yeah, the second part, I'm like, well, how are they going to handle movement?
Yeah.
Is it like a magical force kind of pushing against that direction?
Yeah. Or are you just, like, to me...
or are you just frozen in place?
While frightened, your speed is 0. Or while blind, you are frightened and your speed is 0. And you get around that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they got around it anyway. And I love the Ashley. Matt's like, you can each roll, or one of you can roll with advantage. And Ashley's like, you roll. And Laura's like, no, I don't know. And she's like, no, you're stronger than me. Are you sure? Oh, no.
This is a very low-strength party.
It is.
I think there's 2 that are 6 or lower.
Yeah. Laudna and Fern.
And Imogen's only got like a 6 or a 7. 8,
I think she has an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and much more interesting and mortal spread of
Yeah.
attributes among Val's house. But we get a plane shift, and it was very nice of Matt to narrate it the way that he does teleportation.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if he plans on using this narration against the party in the future. Because technically, plane shift only works on the creatures targeted, and they would not have been targeted.
Yeah.
But also, technically, teleportation circle does the same, has the same wording. I think. I might be wrong. I know teleport does. Teleport is creatures you target.
Yeah, I don't think teleportation circle does.
So, yeah. But they follow, they give chase, and this is the first time that I can think of where we return to a dungeon.
Yeah.
And certainly cross campaigns.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm still waiting for the campaign where they go and loot the abandoned Grayskull Keep.
yeah.
Honestly, I thought they were going to do that in the first
In
EXU.
EXU? Yeah, same. And the players pick up on it. Well, some of the players pick up on it. Others do not.
They get all excited and they're like, oh, wait, that's just us that knows that. Our characters don't know this.
Do you think it's because Liam is Liam? Or do you think Liam is running games in Exandria for his kids? That he seems to have more of the lore at his fingertips? Or do you think it's because he played Caleb through campaign 2?
I think it's Caleb. I think it's a result of the books that we never got privy to the information. You remember he got the books, and Matt's like, I'll email you what's in these, like, I think it was like 4 books.
Yeah.
And it's a huge lore dump. I think this is what Liam is going off of. He's got all this information that only he has because of Caleb. That was my first thought.
No, that's... Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 books that he bought. And Matt was like, there's too much...
that they took from the Happy Fun Ball.
Yeah. He's like, there's too much information here. I'll just email it to you.
Yeah.
So, that... I'm like 80% sure that's what it is.
Which makes me wonder even more now if they're going to run into Caleb soon.
I think they are. They're dealing with the Severus Assembly. I mean, yeah, they may go to the Feywild first, but they're going to go and deal with that scope too. And they're going to run into Caleb and potentially Bo.
Yeah.
Because Caleb is the Severus, he's fucking with them.
Yeah.
They're dealing with the Severus Assembly. They're going to come on Caleb's radar.
Well, especially if they're an enemy of the Assembly, for sure, yeah.
Whether they're an enemy or an ally, there's the new random players dealing with the Severus Assembly. They're going to be on Caleb's radar. Because he's assigned himself to be their watchdog.
Damn. I don't remember who the name of the guy that they met in Uthodurn was.
Oh,
The lunar specialist.
yeah. I don't know either.
I expect we'll meet him first,
Yeah,
and that might be the end.
that'll be the end towards the Severus Assembly. And that's because, and Chetney's from Uthodurn, so he may already have knowledge of this guy. Maybe not know him, but knows there's a guy that studied the moon. You know?
Yeah.
Especially since he's all cursed by the moon, and this guy studied the moon, and they're from the same fucking town.
Yeah.
And it's not a huge town. I mean, it's kind of leveled and caste system, but it's not a huge place.
True. So yeah. But we get the lore dump that we've been waiting for.
Yes.
Who is trapped inside the moon. And it turns out to be not 2, but 3.
3, yes.
In the sense that one of them, Predathos,
Pagan Predathos.
the hunger beyond the stars.
Why I said what I said.
I'm like, oh, nice.
Yeah, I was pleased.
And the 2 gods that they ate, which are the domains that the Raven Queen took over.
Yes.
Um,
Consumed is the closest translation.
Yeah.
Per Plain Writer Written.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. We get Extant.
Mm-hmm.
What the name that they have given what Imogen is, and what Exaltant. There we go. It does make me wonder how many others we're gonna see.
Yeah.
If Caliph is one. Like, we don't know that she's Ruidus born, but
yeah, I feel like she's Ruidus born. I don't know if she's the exalted version. We know that Imogen is. We know that her mom is.
Yeah. And Otahan seems to be.
Otahan seems to be.
Do you think? Because there's a discussion of Otahan being a person of faith until something happened, and now she's on this trip with Ruidus.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's common knowledge that the Raven Queen ascended as a mortal to godhood.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm having trouble identifying what would make them get angry and abandon the faith. Or maybe knowledge that the gods that she replaced might still be up there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that that's key in the wording, that consumed is the closest thing we have in translation, is key. It's not like they're no longer there.
Yeah.
And there's still a part of me that feels like this is a way where if they are going to do their own thing and publish solely on their own and not in conjunction with WotC, that this is a way to
reset the Pantheon. Yeah, for sure.
And Otahan could just be, the evil river wind.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we had some discussion about the city, and that this Predathos mutated life.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, so that city is the city of Illithid.
Or Innsmouth.
I mean, 6 of one, half dozen of another.
Yeah.
But I started thinking about it, and the drow on Taldore went mad.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that there was an elder brain under Craghammer.
Yep.
Is that why?
Perhaps, yeah.
It's an interesting potentiality that these elder brains, these illithid that exist underground, are there in hiding, waiting for Ruidus to be broken.
Mm-hmm.
Which brought up in my brain the Luxon, and how the Luxon also was before the gods, and how it was broken, or it gave pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Unsure exactly. We know that the Cerberus Assembly is obsessed with those beacons.
Yep.
And they have a habit of taking over dig sites where one could be or is. And that happened here in Wildmount.
Yep. Marquette.
Marquette, thank you.
I mean, it happened in Wildmount too. You're not wrong.
Yes. So I think there may be another beacon here.
Yes.
And I think Matt, this story really does sort of feel like an opus. Where he's finally bringing in all these threads that he's had since Campaign 1 through Campaign 2. And he developed a little of it in Campaign 2, and now we're in Campaign 3. And now all the players, all the PCs, have their backgrounds so intertwined with the story that there's not a lot of mystery in their backgrounds. Because as we have been exposed to the plot of the story, it exposes their backstory, because this is why I'm here.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. This is why it's important that we go here. It's important to me because of, all those things are wrapped up in what's going on. So, yeah, it feels like he's got something planned. And the Raven Queen ascending, and then Vecna ascending,
Mm-hmm.
I think has done something to that prison. So,
yeah. And even after Vecna, like, that did something, and then with Thurston trying to bust out last campaign, trying to exploit whatever happened, probably damaged it even further.
yeah. Because they have said the last 5 years has been really active.
Yeah.
And it's sort of what has happened that hasn't happened in the last 800 years. Well, 30 years ago, another mortal ascended to godhood.
20
And-
years ago,
And-
God tried to come back through.
So yeah. Also, they were talking about, what piece of the pie is Ruidus. What happened? And what if Ruidus is the reason why Exandria isn't a Pangea?
You think they took out of
One of the
Exandria?
oceans is there because the land that was there is up there.
That actually makes a lot of sense with not residuum but rudium. The rust color that they think came from Ruidus, that's in the Maelstrom, that's a whole huge plot point in the Critical Role adventure that WotC published.
Oh, the
Netherdeep.
yeah.
What if the Netherdeep's caused because the Earth was pulled up
Yeah.
to form Ruidus? And that's why the stuff is the same color as Ruidus, which is why they named it that, even though they established that it's not from there, it's natural to Exandria.
Yeah.
So very much so, yes. Yay.
So yeah. The what are our options portion of the episode, the planning for the future, was hilarious to me, especially on my rewatch. Because it's like, well, I know the Shadowfell one isn't very well guarded because it's so dangerous there. Travis says, "Ooh, that sounds like the one we gotta hit. Let's do that." The Feywild, arguably the most dangerous because of the timey-wimey stuff that could happen to them.
Yes.
Also, the forces that be there are looking for Fern and know that they have an interest in it because of I want to say Sky, but that's not right. Dusk. Thank you. Yes,
Close.
Dusk. Because of Dusk's involvement. And I think we might see her come back. If they go to the Feywild, I think we can see her come back. I think that's Dusk's superpower, Rose.
She's Forget-Me-Not from the X-Men.
Yeah. Well, I mean, changelings just disappear. He's,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think going back a little bit, I was going to say when we were talking about the Exalted, felt very Weapon X program to me from Marvel Comics. How like all these ones are coming up, as Wolverine gained popularity, all these other ones came up. And it turns out Captain America, the Super Soldier Project, was the first weapon project.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, so all these Ruidus born and the people experimenting or testing on them, and this is just, okay, Ruidus is the Weapon X program.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, like to me, the Feywild is the most dangerous of their options. We have Imogen's mom and Otahan, and we talked about Imogen joining them.
Yeah.
As a means of getting in, and they now have mentioned it at the table. and she's not keen on it. And FCG is like, no, you're in no condition to be doing that.
Yeah, that's not.
And I think FCG is correct. And you could tell Imogen is dealing with some things.
Yeah.
Because, like we talked about, is she going to reject her mother outright? And or enter some sort of rebellion against her? And I think we're seeing that. We saw that in this episode. Where she all but said,
I just hope it doesn't.
Mother.
Yeah, I just hope it doesn't become a complete Luke Anakin parallel.
Where she goes to redeem her mother.
Yeah. Well, just the whole.
Otahan is the emperor in this scene.
Yeah.
And actually, I think it might be the other way around.
You think Mom's the emperor?
Yeah.
I'm more for that. It just seems like every time...
The emperor didn't get his hands dirty.
Every time there's the kid and the parent who turns out to be Eve, it's always the Anakin Luke thing.
Yeah. But to me, everything smacks of her mother is the emperor and is doing and is controlling everything. And she doesn't want Imogen to come find her and expose that she has a daughter, because that's a potential weakness her enemies within the organization will use against her. It's not that she's necessarily worried about Imogen.
See, in my brain, if she was the emperor, she'd want Imogen there to exploit her.
She is a much better tool outside of the reach of her enemies, progressing her powers on her own.
Okay.
In that sense. But the other thing that Otahan and her mother have, that the other sites mentioned, they have those that is the least unknown. They know roughly the size of the force, its composition. They know the leadership. They have a potential in and a potential traitor. So that is, in some ways, the least dangerous option.
Yeah.
Just the most personally sticky. Which is why Imogen's like, nope. Basically saying nope. They message Maury, the Fate Stitcher.
Yeah.
The Morrigan.
Love that whole. And you're a princess, right? Yeah. My grandma calls me that all the time. Is it just your? Well, yeah.
Everything about them talking to Fern about the Feywild.
She's 8 feet tall. Why do you think I got so tall? You're not related. Maybe.
I think we are. You're not. Definitely not.
Yeah, they call her the, what is it they call it? The fate spinner. Yeah, fate spinner. And Travis and Zimmer just both like, what? And Matt's just laughing. Or Rin.
Yeah.
I think it was a little bit Matt too. Because I think it started out as Matt and turned to Rin, because I think Matt started laughing. He's just like, really, you're gonna drop this piece of your backstory now?
Yeah. I mean, they kind of already knew it. I mean, we already knew it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so good. And I loved Imogen She sounded so warm. Warm. Did she? In your mind, no, not at all. Absolutely terrifying.
Yep. Her voice kind of reminded me of the Hag Mother.
From Campaign 2?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Oh,
very,
yeah.
very similar there.
Oh, yeah. For sure, don't
Like-
you know? Oh, yeah. I can't wait for Matt to be describing her
Like,
and for Laura to
Artigan
have
the
like,
Traveler familiar.
uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Because, like, I got the same, like, in my head that I did when I first proposed that theory back when we didn't know who the Traveler was. I was like, that's the fucking Fawn.
Yeah. I also, this episode was like, I wonder if it's the same hag.
They're gonna get there. We're gonna know because when they get there, there'll
There's
be
gonna be a
blueberry muffins in the window. Oh yes,
or
someone
moss-
gave me the
The Moss cupcakes.
Someone, you know, they're from a friend, and
I simply must have them.
yeah,
I mean, it does and doesn't make sense. But, yeah. My mind also went there. And his voicing of
maybe
her.
they're just part of the same coven.
Yeah. Or, you know, maybe hags in Exandria are sort of like devils or demons, where they sort of just go, you know, down from the original source.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And there's a discussion about plane shifting back, that they have to go back to Eos to get Ashton.
Which for a split second they almost missed. She's like, we go here, we got to go back and get Ash. Oh yeah.
And again, well, so do you think that's the PC Halo? A little bit?
Going back to get Ashton?
Yeah. That, you know, oh yeah, we have to go do that.
No. I think they've kind of they're kind of
This is the first time that for a illness or for a temporary absence, Matt has made the character go away. Usually, for like a 1 episode absence, maybe 2, they'll just be in the background, and Matt will chime in with them every now and then. Ashley being gone for large swaths to film Blind Spot, they fit that into Yasha's character arc.
Yeah, and Pike as well.
Yeah, but I think better with.
Yeah, and they did the whole kidnapping thing with Laura's pregnancy.
Yeah. So I think they were just sort of taking it for granted that Ashton was with them, just not Talison's not at the table. Even though the episode began with them noticing Ashton's not there.
Yeah.
Which, ironically, sort of points out how Ashton was able to disappear because they still forgot that he wasn't there.
Because despite his 29 passive perception, he's still not the most observant.
Well, I mean, Liam is the one that said we have to go back and get Ashton.
True.
And yes, Rose, I am looking forward to the dump that they give him.
Yeah.
But
that's going to be one hell of a catch-up call.
But they're like, Plane Rider Ren's like, I can put you on on the outskirts of the city, on one of the bridges.
About the circus carnival.
Yeah. How about the basement? Because the one who brought it up is not safe for the doctor, said, "No, I think it's okay for us." So as soon as that was brought up, and can you send us to the casino? Let me put you in the basement. Go to the basement. Travis is like, I'm going up to take a look. In good rogue fashion, he's being the scout. Goes upstairs. Before he's upstairs, he hears the crash of the door.
Yep.
Says, I'm closing the secret door. And then they say, oh, they're going to see the painting in the sink. Which was hilarious. And is totally going to be... Like, Matt is probably going to have it sniffing around. They're going to hear it walking around upstairs. But so much of this thing so far, it's felt very sort of Terminator-y.
Yeah.
And I thought of the line from the prophecy when Thomas is... I think he's talking to the girl's mother or teacher, I can't remember. Anyway, I don't remember who he's talking to, but he says, would you ever want to meet an angel? Your entire existence being a servant of God, but always one wing dipped in blood? Because angels are the ones who come down to murder humans.
Yeah.
At God's order. And that sort of reminded... The portrayal of the Judicators reminded me of that line. And I'm like, well done, Matt. Way to make the prime deities terrifying. And I think we're going to get some of that. And you build that tension by having them hear it, walk around.
Yeah.
Upstairs and stop. And then walk a different way. And give them where it's walking maybe into the study. So they think, oh, maybe they didn't find it. And then it begins to come back. And then it will quickly snowball into and roll initiative.
I don't know. I can almost see it where it walks around, builds up that tension, and then leaves. They take a minute. They go upstairs.
No, I think
You
it
think
works.
they're going to come down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they will be able to tell immediately that what they're looking for is not upstairs. And they will be able to track them to the downstairs, to the secret door. This thing's perceptions are off the charts. It can see things that others can't. I'm pretty sure it knows Chetney's a lycanthrope. I'm pretty sure, like, there are different supernatural things, senses.
Yeah.
Pike was able to tell what was up with Laudna.
Yep.
Pike is not adjudicator. This thing has got all those things that Pike can do. It probably has a divine sense that's always on.
Yeah.
Because they strike me as paladins more than clerics.
Definitely.
And so, yeah. It probably has true sight. And I think I peg its CR probably somewhere between 15 and 18.
Okay.
Which means it's going to be a tough fight.
Yeah. I was thinking the higher end of that, so.
And yes, Rose, they have been dying, which is why I say, Matt finally has listened to his players. And I think no matter where they came back to, Eos, this encounter was going to be waiting for him. And, yeah, They are down a sorcery point. Imogen is down a sorcery point, a first level spell slot, and a second level spell slot. Fern is down a first level spell slot.
Wildness down a third.
Yep. And FCG is down a first or two firsts, I think. Speak with Animals and Cure Wounds.
Mm-hmm.
Or Healing Word. I don't remember which one he did. They've got all their hit points. Well, no, Chetney's down some hit points from the traps.
Yeah.
But not a significant amount. So yeah, it will be interesting. I'm hoping that Imogen summons her red psionic being. Just because I think that will be a source of weakness against the Adjudicator. I don't think Psychic they're going to be resistant to. I think Necrotic and Radiant they probably will have a resistance to. Probably Mundane Weapons and also potentially Fire, Cold, Lightning. But that might not be the case. But yeah, we don't have a Cobalt Soul Monk to extract aspects, so
yeah,
the only way we're going to know is if they do the damage or not.
Yep.
But fighting that thing in an enclosed space is, I think it's not the best position to be in just because Laudna likes to be far away and Imogen also likes to not be up front. But,
well, I mean, if they bottleneck the stairwell and let the range people stay back.
Yeah. And Orem can get past it and get on the other side of it to always have flanking on it, on the staircase.
Yeah. Yeah, Chetney and FCG bottleneck the stairwell.
Yeah.
Orem does his flea hopper thing.
The only thing is who or what is with it. Is the wild card that I don't know. My guess is probably a cleric of some kind.
My guess was a Lycan.
No.
Because you saw them, you smelled them.
That was who was with the Adjudicator.
Oh, I thought that was the Adjudicator.
No, the Adjudicator did not speak.
Gotcha.
And he described the Adjudicator as bloodhounds, as hunters.
Okay.
So its perceptions are off the charts. That's what I say.
Gotcha.
Yeah. They also thought it was a Lycan at the table. But no, I'm almost positive it's whoever's holding the leash. And my guess is it's going to be that person at the top of the stairs, Orem on the landing, it trapped on the staircase, with Chetney down there, with FCG providing some support, maybe even Fern as a bear or something, and then Laudna and Imogen sniping at it to burn it down, and then Ashton comes in. Round 2, maybe? 2 or 3?
I was thinking 3.
Would be the most epic moment to do it. But we will have to wait and see until next year. My MVP was Laura for her character work and also rules lawyering because she read the spell. Her detect thoughts
Yeah.
If it says, yeah, but go on. It says if I detect them, I can now read their thoughts. He's like, okay. But I kind of have to give her some demerits because she has message. So if she knows where the creature is, she can send them a message with message. So she's down that second level spot as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we shall see. Anything else?
That's it.
Right. Take care of yourselves and each other, guys. I will probably stream sometime later this week, I think. I don't know. But anyway, we'll see you guys.